just for this sheet, just kind of follow along. Make sure you fix anything you need to fix. This information is going to be used for a Google Forms quiz later in the week. So just make sure you're following along and fixing anything or adding anything that you need to fix. So Marta is the main character. She is turning 15 and she's kind of trying to find her way. Samuel is the dad. He is very strict as well as being very traditional. He's a very old school guy, and we kind of see that throughout the movie. Ramon is Gabby's cousin. He is older compared to everybody else, and he, as he likes to say, has been taking care of himself for a very long time. Gabby is the girl we meet initially. She is the oldest of the friends. She already had her quinceañera, and we kind of see how that makes her different throughout the movie. She's the one that's more mature, dresses differently, all of that. Ines is the mom. We're going to talk a little more in depth about her as we go. But mom's, your typical mom, very kind of nurturing and caring throughout. Jorge is the neighbor. He is an illegal immigrant, and this whole course of the movie, he's just trying to find work. Octavio is Marta's cousin. He, as she says, is a bit of a wart. He doesn't speak English well. Dad wants him to be the escort, but Marta disagrees, as we saw earlier, because she feels like it'd be embarrassing to go with him. The beginning of the movie, what is the reason that Marta's father is unable to give her the party? He says it's because they are expensive. Right? He says everybody has the church, the mass, but not everybody gets the party because they're expensive. This is before he kind of talks about being promoted and all that. We talked about this earlier. The name of the traditional dance at the party is called a waltz. Right, that's where we get the European influence. In the movie, the priest talks about what truly makes you a woman. We see Marta sitting there with a bunch of the other girls who are kind of going for their quinceañera talk in the church, and the priest says it is through service to others, which leads her to become a volunteer at the Amnesty Office, which brings us to number 5, explain the amnesty process program, be specific. I'm going to give you guys kind of the quick version of this. The amnesty process is something we're going to talk way more deeply about in the days to come following this quiz. So in short, the amnesty process is a program that allowed illegal immigrants to receive residency. Excuse my spelling, you guys know I'm not a great speller. To receive residency, what we know as a green card or papers, as we hear a lot in the movie, as long as they can prove they have worked all along. All right, and again, we're going to talk way more deeply about this as we go along, but that's the kind of long and short of it. So in other words, they're saying that they were illegal, but they're proving that they've been able to work. All right, what happens when the girlfriends yell La Migra into the crowded streets? Why do they do this? What does this all mean? So La Migra is immigration. This is something we talked about in one of our question sheets. All right, the girls do it to be funny. They think it's kind of a joke, but everybody causes a panic because people out on the weekend are potentially illegal. All right, and that's why everybody kind of scatters and runs off. The secret that the father's been hiding is that he is illegal. He does not have papers to work here, and papers means documents proving you are in the country legally. And there's a lot of different levels to this. This is something that we're also going to talk about later, but it's more than just a green card. It's more than being a citizen. There's a lot more to it that we're going to talk about. All right, how does Ramon help Marta out? He drives her to Dad's old jobs to collect signatures, which is all part of the amnesty process, is proving that you've worked through the signatures of your past employers. How does Marta inspire Ramon? What does Ramon learn? She basically says that it's not too late, that he can do anything he wants. And she, which inspires him to learn to read and write, as we see at the end of the movie. Why did Samuel give up on applying amnesty in the past? Because he was scammed by a bad lawyer, and he was afraid there could be immigration traps where he would show up and get taken away by immigration because it was a scam. The mother does not seem to be concerned with being deported. Why might this be? Can we tell if she has a job? So, as far as we can tell, mom does not work. She's a stay-at-home mom, which, you know, good for her with 3 kids if she's able to do that. The reason she doesn't seem to be really concerned with being deported like the father is because in this era, it was typical if there was both parents that were illegal. So if both parents are illegal, one would stay with the legal children. So we know that all 3 children are legal U.S. citizens, and if they are going to deport, they're not going to split the families up. They're not going to leave the kids behind, because then that would cause, you know, a major disruption in the foster care system, because these kids got to get put somewhere. After all, if they are U.S. citizens, they have the right to be in the country. So mom's not worried because she's probably going to stay. If they deport anybody, it'll be the dad. But also, because mom does not work, there is no records of her possibly. All right, no fake names, no fake papers. There's no reason for anybody to really know she exists if she is illegal, but we don't know for sure, but we can just speculate. All right, how does Marta prove that she's truly become a quinceañera? And this was by helping him receive his amnesty papers by getting his signatures. She, as the priest said, service to others. She served her father well by helping him out with the paperwork. All right, throughout the movie, mom and dad treat Marta very differently. How is this? Give at least 2 points of evidence from the movie. So I'm going to let you guys kind of figure that part out on your own, but I'm going to give you the major points. Dad treats her like a little girl. All right. And we see this because he keeps forbidding her to see the Ramon. And also, always, anytime she tries to do anything, he keeps saying, "You're too young," or he keeps saying, "I'm, you know, the dad. All right, I'm the head of the house," the whole thing. He keeps kind of throwing that back in her face. Mom is a little different. Mom is always trying to tell her, if you want to be treated like an adult, then act like one. So mom's very different. She keeps giving her suggestions like it's not just shaving your legs, it's being responsible, it's all that, so it's very different. Last question, how would you react if you found out a parent or loved one was an illegal citizen in the United States? How would you feel? What would you do? This is kind of your own answer. All right. You tell me what you think being in those shoes would feel like, and then I'll kind of take it and read it. Please make sure that you are looking at all of this stuff. All right, all of this information. If I could spell it right, all this information will be used for a quiz later in the week. So please make sure you study, know what we're talking about, and if you have questions, ask me. You can email, or we can set up a Google chat and chat. Otherwise, most of you that are doing a good job, keep it up, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon.